Welcome to a variation on the FWOT show called No, Seriously, Pay Attention. This time, we're going to take a topic and beat the crap out of it instead of having our usual rapid-fire news stories. I'm Rob Steele. That's still Jesus Jones in the background. Yes, it's a different song. That way you can tell if it's going to be one of these versions or a regular one. How hard can this be? And today's topic is one that you've heard a lot in the news, but there are some things that you've probably missed. So let's go over them. Let's start with, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's an idiot in the White House. His name is Donald J. Trump, and somehow he got himself put in the position of President of the United States of America. I don't know how that happened. It was some kind of bizarre, convoluted bullshit with the Electoral College because he didn't win the vote. Now, I've mentioned this quite a lot on this show, but let's go over what's happened in the 2 weeks I've been gone. We'll start with Trump decided to do a complete switch on his stance of Afghanistan. During the election process, it was pull out everybody get out of Afghanistan, oh, wait, my numbers are slipping? Invade! We must invade Afghanistan. Now, he announced this at a press conference where he said he has studied the situation. He has studied longer. He has studied harder. He said studied longer and studied harder repeatedly. Longer and harder. He still thinks this is about his dick. It's not. He is one. We know that. We're caught up, Don. Shut the hell up. Actually, I'm not sure he thinks at all. One of the things he mentioned during this speech was the Prime Minister of Afghanistan. Guess what? Afghanistan doesn't have a Prime Minister. So I'm not sure what you studied longer and harder there, Don Boy, but it wasn't Afghanistan. Something you would have noticed if you had studied Afghanistan was that people have been trying to invade there since time began, really. And no one has done it successfully. The United States has been there numerous times. We haven't conquered it. Russia can't conquer it. The United Kingdom, they can't do it. Alexander the Great stormed through there and went, ooh, doesn't work. Everybody out. Genghis Khan, one of the greatest conquerors in the history of ever, looked at Afghanistan and went, you know, there are lots of mountains over there. F*** it, we go over here. That's a hint. But to invade Afghanistan, we need an army. And speaking of Chinese people, because that's where Genghis Khan was kind of from, in that area, we can't get China as an ally, mainly because Donald Trump doesn't like them anyway. But I'm just throwing out an amusing headline I found where the Chinese said they're having trouble getting young people into their army because they're too fat. Well, that goes with this generation. They play too many video games. Again, this generation. They cannot pass the army fitness tests. You're catching on. Because they masturbate too much. I'm sorry, what? So that's China out. Allies, I don't think we're going to be able to find on this. We can't even get our own people to get behind this. We're going to war, and what's Donald Trump's first thing he's going to do? Get rid of all the transgendered people in the army. Now, James Mattis has said, you know what, it's going to take a while for this to happen, because we can't really tell who everybody is. We don't know. We had that whole don't ask, don't tell thing for so long. We haven't caught up yet. Now, why does Donnie say he wants to get rid of it? Not because it's a distraction, but because it costs too much money. Really, Don Boy? The medical costs for every transgender person in all of our armed forces combined equal a whopping 2 of your fucking golf trips to Polo Loco or wherever the hell it is you go. Incidentally, the Secret Service, they announced they have run out of money because you're a selfish prick going on golf trips every fucking weekend. Programming note, you may have noticed this show has a lot more beeps and whistles in it than a standard show. Meanwhile, and we can't get behind a war with a country that you can't defeat. We can't even get behind people who are going after patriotism in this country with equal rights and everything. That's still going on. You say people who are not in this war are anti-patriotic? Colin Kaepernick actually is patriotic. But everyone likes to shit on him. Why? He takes a knee during the national anthem because he thinks, rightly, that black people are still being oppressed in this country. The argument against him being, People fought for that flag. You should stand out of respect. To which most of the soldiers have replied, we fought for his right to do whatever the hell he wants. That was the point. He wants to take a knee. Knock yourself out. Now this is Colin Kaepernick, who is a good quarterback, but not one of the all-time great quarterbacks. And I would like to show you at this moment something you probably haven't realized. The national anthem at NFL games was kind of a private thing before the game, before 2009, when the Congress somehow got involved and decided that the NFL teams should be on the field to show their patriotism. Before that, the teams stayed in the locker room. So you have all-time great quarterbacks like Joe Montana, never stood for the anthem, he was in the locker room. Jim Plunkett, never stood for the anthem, he was in the locker room. Roger Staubach, did he stand for the anthem? No, he was in the locker room. So don't give me this shit about patriotism when it comes to Colin Kaepernick actually trying to get the country in the direction it needs to go. Speaking of Roger Staubach, he played for Dallas, which is in Texas, which was recently raped by a storm called Harvey. Now, what was Donald Trump's message to Texans before the storm? Good luck, everybody. And that's it. No, we'll send aid. No, hey, get out of the cities because there's a big storm coming. No, he's going to deny climate change yet again, even though, look, it's right here. In the past 12 years, we have had two every 100-year storms called Katrina and Sandy. And this one was an every 500-year storm called Harvey. Harvey hit Houston. Trump, of course, thinks Harvey is an invisible rabbit, and Harvey in Houston is the sequel that somehow got crossed with Debbie Does Dallas. Okay, you tell me why he hasn't done shit about it. Who was the first to respond to what happened in Houston? That would be not the U.S. government. It'd be Mexico. Boy, it's a good thing we don't have that wall, because if we did, Houston would be really fucked. Incidentally, and I have seen this, no, Harvey wasn't steered toward Houston as a weather terrorism weapon. Weather doesn't work that way until we get Star Trek technology going, and we're not going to get that until Colin Kaepernick says, hey, racism's over. The only response Americans seem to have had from a corporate and business level so far would be the Houston local businesses who raised prices, like a 24-pack of bottled water, now starting at $19.99, financing available, or $8 a gallon for gas. What the hell happened to all these Christian feelings we're supposed to be having in this country? Do unto others, y'all. Really? Now, where is Trump during all this? He's in Missouri trying to pass another tax break for rich people. Speaking of rich assholes, Joel Osteen, that big Christian bastard who has a 606,000 square foot megachurch, didn't open it. No, he's not going to open it for refugees. However, the refugees showed up by the busload, and then they opened it. He claims they weren't going to open it unless they were asked by the city. Incidentally, there's 21 mosques in the greater Houston area. They started out open. They didn't have to be asked, and they're still open right now, accepting people who have been homeless, and that's a new verb that I just created, by Harvey. Just as a footnote, the president of the controversial Christian group Family Research Council, Tony Perkins, the guy who teaches that God sends natural disasters to punish homosexuals, had his house destroyed by these floods. I wonder if that says something. My thought is it either means God thinks you're gay, Tony, or, hey, Tony, you're full of shit. By the way, if you're thinking about sending thoughts and prayers to Houston, go yourself. Send money. Volunteer. Go down there and actually help. Thoughts and prayers haven't done shit since time began. Get over it. Now here's a subtopic that's popped up a lot. A lot of Trump supporters have said, oh yeah, you think Trump's not doing anything? Where was Obama during Katrina? Where was Obama during Katrina? Well, despite the fact that he wouldn't be president for another 3.5 years, he was still down there helping refugees. Where's Donald Trump? he's in Missouri, or he's pardoning Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't care how to pronounce his name. The bastard doesn't deserve to have his name pronounced properly anyway. Trump says he pardoned him during the hurricane so people wouldn't notice as much. This is a bastard who profiles Hispanics and arrests them just because their skin is darker. All right, you, get in the back of the car. You're under arrest. But Joe, it's me, Steve. We grew up together. I just have a tan. I don't care. You look Hispanic. Get in the car. We're deporting you. You're sending me back to where I came from? That's what I said, but I grew up in the house next door. You can't deport me to next door to your own house. And if you don't think this guy is an ass clown, on National Dog Day, he and his deputies set a puppy on fire. Yeah, he's a dick. Put him back in jail. While we're on the subject of deplorable things, let's talk about the fake Fox News for a moment. Just as a side note this week, Sky, the biggest broadcaster outside the BBC in the UK, has decided to stop carrying Fox News for several reasons, partly because of its fakeness, but mostly because people in the United Kingdom, with their superior educational system, have realized it's crap, and thus Fox was only getting about 2,000 viewers a day, or 1.3 million in Trump numbers. And it's not just Fox that's full of shit either. As of this recording, there's an opinion article on CNN about what Trump got right with Harvey. They don't need a presidential flyover. The president would be a distraction from getting real help. Meanwhile, here's a link to all the times President Obama should have gone to visit victims of disasters that were similar to this. FWOT! And if you don't know what that word means, go to the website for the full explanation, thefwotshow.com, FWOT. You can spell the in show, you're smart enough. Find the definition. You can also subscribe to the show there through iTunes or the Google Play Store. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. There's buttons for everything. You can also visit the FWOT store where you can pick up a shirt or a hat or a coffee mug. Everything you get there not only looks good on you, but it helps support the Coil Entertainment Network, which has got a number of shows. There's links on the website. Check that out. Meanwhile, finishing up this show, I mentioned Trump numbers a little while ago. Do you remember his Phoenix rally? It was like a week ago, week and a half, where he said there were 15,000 people that showed up. If you add every room in that arena together, the entire arena holds maybe 12,000. The room he was in held 4,200. The official count said 4,169. For those of you who are mathematically impaired, that's less than 15,000. And of that 4,169 people, frankly, I've seen the video, it looks like maybe half, if that. But he's still got his supporters like Kellyanne Conway. Frankly, I'm not sure who she is or why she keeps popping up. Should I say rearing her ugly head? I'll say popping up. Anyway, she says that Trump's best quality is his humility. And if that's his best quality, that's kind of like saying Stephen Hawking's best feature is his non-functioning limbs. Is that a bit harsh? Email me. The email address is on the website, thefwotshow.com. Let me know what you think of all this. In the meantime, what do we need to do about this country? Get rid of Trump. The password is impeach. I'll be back in 2 weeks with more. Stay tuned, stay careful, and for f***'s sake, someone send some help to Houston.